There we go. Okay, so let's call the morning meeting to order at 7:46. Thank you, everybody. So we are missing Commissioner Howland. So we do not have a quorum, but let's move ahead anyway. So at public comment, I don't see anybody. Is anybody in the wings, Bill? Okay. All right, so we'll have to skip the approval of the minutes because we don't have a quorum, but I think that's the only thing that probably requires a vote today. On the commission members, Jim Lang did hand in his resignation. He originally sent it out in March and it didn't get to me or Vicky, but I did finally get a copy. He's actually moving to Pennsylvania to help his son with their Airbnb or B&B or something. Right. So I just want the record to show our thanks. I was actually hoping he would be on the call today, just to give him our thanks for all the years of work on this first committee, then commission. I mean, he and I have been in this since the very beginning. He's probably on it before even I was with John Anik. So, I mean, he has really done yeoman's work on for the town's benefit. And I just want to officially say how grateful we are for everything that he's done over, oh my God, more than 20 years. So I will make sure that that's in the minutes. Okay, so we've been talking about trying to recruit some more commission members. I did talk to Laura's suggestion, Amy Wiley, last night, and she sounds really interested. So I got to send her some stuff and we got to start the process. She is the social media person at WWE in Stamford. She's got younger kids, one at Tech Heck, one at Boot Hill. So that brings both from a subject matter standpoint, I think, good experience to the table for us, but she's also going to be engaged in the town for a while. So I also like that too. So we got to go through the process of getting her approved by the town council. So I'll take the lead on that, which probably means hopefully she can be at our next meeting in August. She was going to try to be here this morning, but she just had too full a schedule. But I really like her, and I think she's gonna bring some great stuff to the table for us. So we'll be moving ahead with her. If anybody else has any other suggestions, we still have one more seat open. So forward them, any names to me, and we will.
Is there a particular skill set that you want to kind of round out with?
I don't know. What do you guys think? I do kind of like that Jim kept on top of the government stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
So that would sort of be my leaning. I feel like we have technical pretty well covered with Ryan. And I think Amy's also going to be able to connect us to maybe more resources, either as commissioners or vendors or just volunteers to help us on all the technology stuff. But I feel like we're in a pretty good place with Ryan and Jens. So I don't know, what else do you guys think we should be looking for?
The only other name
go ahead then.
the only name I could think of, Kate, when you spoke at Rotary a few months back, Ed Gillespie had expressed an interest. I don't know if he's still interested or not. He's got a marketing company.
Yeah, and I had reached out to him, and there was some timing thing, so he will be available at some point in the future. I'll have to look back at my notes. I can't remember exactly when. But, it was when he was going to retire that he was going to be.
Oh, okay.
Available. So.
Right. Yeah.
So let me just. I'll check my notes and make sure that we cycle back with him when it's closer to that time.
Okay.
Okay, so. Okay, so anything else on potential commission members? Okay, moving on to the budget. Our 21-22 budget is in good shape. I'm just going to send an email out to the all the videographers and everybody, get your June invoice into me as early in July as possible, right? We would just want to get everybody paid. Our budgets are in fine shape. I think we did a really good job this year of identifying needs and, getting stuff. Ryan, you did a great job of figuring out, dozens of things that we could use to run the station better. And we have money for next year. We also have money left this year. So if there's anything you want to, squeeze in the next couple of weeks, let me know and let's get the PO in so we can, we still have money in our budgets this year.
And I'll go through the like just the everyday stuff that Ryan and I use as far as like hard drives. I may want to get a couple more of those external, like 10 terabyte drives just for archiving and things like that. So,
well, just get me the POs.
Will do. I will, sorry, I'm just making notes while I'm talking. So that's messing with my.
And then Laura, if we can follow up because like, we gotta try to get that streaming server in here.
Yeah.
By the end of June.
I will. Yeah, I know that the order, I'll follow up with DNR. The order is in. Their goal was to get it up and running by the end of the summer. So
but if they can get it on premises.
Yeah, I will. I'll follow up with Donnie.
Even if they can't finish the installation and training.
Yep.
Because that's the way that we're going to get the bill paid in this year, which is when they allocated the money, right?
Right.
I don't have the money allocated for next year.
Right. Okay.
Or enough. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. So just, or bill us for whatever they can, even if they're going to have to bill us separately for the installation and training. I think I've probably got enough to cover that, but if we can get the hardware, whatever we can get in this fiscal year, we got to get in.
Okay.
Okay.
I will follow up and stress that, this is budget related and they should understand. I mean, they work.
Yeah, and we got a special dispensation from the Board of Finance for this purchase, so to move money from one account to another, which they don't like to do, for good reason. Okay, the 22-23 budget. Or any other questions on this fiscal year's budget? Like I said, we're in great shape. 22-23, it's been approved, so went through the town council with no changes, so we are in good shape. It's essentially the same budget as this year, a little less capital because the town council TriCaster, for lack of a better term, is coming out of the ARPA fund. So hopefully that's still the case, Bill. Can you hear me? So that's still the case?
I'm sorry, I was looking at something.
That the town council TriCaster is still coming out ARPA funds?
I believe that's still the plan.
Okay. So I think as far as the money goes, we're in good shape. And boy, Rainey's been doing a great job, Ryan. Looks like they've been covering a lot of stuff for us. So that's good. I mean, big bill for May, but that, there's all those freaking concerts and
yeah.
So glad to have them on board.
Yeah, and Rainey's doing a good job too. They've got a good eye, which is, you can't really teach that. You can teach how to use a camera. It's kind of harder to teach how to, how to frame a shot. So
Rainey went through RCA. So when shooting concerts, they're like, yeah, if I'm shooting this, I know what the parents are gonna want to see. So got the good mind for it.
Yeah, pan the crowd so every kid gets some camera time. I'm not the crowd, the performers. Yes. So great job. Okay, so any questions about the fiscal year 23 budget anybody wants to ask? Like I said, I think we got exactly what we needed, so we're in good shape. Okay, on to programming.
Yeah, recruiting videographers is as always an ongoing process. We've got Rainey, who's doing a great job. Matt has been stepping up and recording a ton of stuff. he was sidelined for a short while with COVID, but you know, he's in where he can and doing what he can. Ryan actually happened upon a student who's interested in doing some videography, you know, videographer work, which is fantastic because Richie has been ill for a while, which is not like him. Like he's okay, he's getting better, but I don't know if he had COVID. I don't know if, you know, I mean, God bless him. He's 81.
God bless him.
I know. And he is as reliable as the sun. So for him to be sick, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm glad that Brian is getting up on board. So that kind of brings me to graduation. So Drew Meza is back for the summer.
Good.
From college. So he's going to help out with graduation. Matt, unfortunately, because of COVID, has to attend the class on graduation night, but he can help us set up.
Okay.
So we will be staffed.
Is Katie anywhere in the vicinity?
I haven't spoken to her in a while. We've got Ryan's going to be calling the show. And then we have Rainey, Richie scheduled, and then Matt was going to do one of the cameras, but I'm going to swap Drew out for him. And then we're going to invite Brian, the student videographer, to kind of shadow Richie. So if he needs to sit down or if he can't make it, we have that backup videographer.
Okay, so I mean, just read that to me again. So Ryan is calling the show. Rainey and Drew are shooting.
Yes.
And Richie with Brian as backup.
Yes. So if it's hot and he needs to sit, you know, because again, that turf is ridiculous. And if I don't know what kind of weather we're going to have, it's starting to get a little sultry. So, you know, if he needs to sit, you know,
Yep.
I want to make sure that he's got a chair, he's got some water, and somebody is, you know.
So Ryan, you're the director. Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, cool.
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure.
Okay.
It's only like a very high stake, not a high stakes, but a high profile event. So
Yes. Yes.
no pressure. Last year, Mark was like walking up to me like at rehearsal when we're setting up. He's like, "This is gonna work, right?" I'm like, thanks, Mark. Thanks for the faith.
So you feel like we're in good shape?
I always feel like everything is, you know, I'm always a little worried about everything until it gets running. But in terms of the staff, yes. I
Are
have
we live streaming?
Yeah, live streaming will be fine. We've done it with the Sling Studio before, and that, knock wood, has always been reliable for us. Sorry, my husband's leaving for work, so my dog might.
Saying goodbye.
Fine. She's a herding dog, so once you leave the perimeter, it gets a little, she gets upset. So, but like I've made lists, you know, I've listed out what equipment we need, what each camera needs, and Ryan and I have discussed this, and you know, we sort of mapped out where everybody's going to set up, where the cameras are going to be. We just have to sit down and go over the Sling Studio equipment itself. And then next week, I have to set up a Zoom meeting. Bill, I may need your help only because I don't know how long it's going to take. But I'm going to set up a Zoom meeting with the videographers, just to have a team meeting to kind of go over expectations for graduation and make sure, like, I don't know, get them all there, what time that, you know, crew call, what time they need to be there. If anybody needs a polo, we still have plenty left. And, you know, like, and I think what I'd like to do from the station, I'll probably get to Costco maybe Friday and get a case of, or next week at some point, get a case of waters and just put them in some kind of bag with each camera crew, just so they stay hydrated. So like all this stuff that I learned from last year, like I have a bunch of cooler bags, so I can just, you know, dump ice in them, just so even if it's just water or Gatorade or whatever, I just want to make sure that they all stay hydrated.
Don't want anybody fainting on the field.
No, and that was, again, I was concerned, you know, Richie wasn't feeling well. He didn't record Memorial Day, and he does that every year. Like he's done that every year for forever. So for him to miss it, I know he didn't want to have to. So but that's where we are for graduation. I'm gonna touch base with Todd just to see if there's anything else he needs to communicate to us and invite him to that team meeting as well. I know he's got young kids, but still to extend that invitation to him to see who's gonna be there. Ryan and I also are gonna ask, we're gonna extend the invitation. We're gonna ask Todd, actually, we need to clear it with Todd, but to invite any of the crew who wants to come to rehearsal just to see how it's set up. It's 8 o'clock on Wednesday. Why are they asking the seniors to come at 8 o'clock on Wednesday? I don't know, but
Just cruel and unusual.
I mean, just getting my son out to take his finals is cruel and unusual, but whatever. Well, you know, the kid didn't want to work. It wasn't worth getting the A's to not have to take it, but whatever. So yeah, so that's the plan for graduation. And I think that's pretty much it. We have everything, you know, we've got pretty much everything we need. If it's inside, I've never done an inside one, but basically we're just gonna take the layout that we have for the fields and plunk it in the gym. And it might, you know, if we have to plug things in, it might be easier. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so what else? We've been doing the concert
Yeah, we've
circuit.
been doing the concert gauntlet. That's almost done. Ryan is gonna get the last one up. So I had the penultimate concert I edited that one. So the last one is done. Concerts are done. Well, the school concerts are done.
Yeah.
We have a whole bunch of Sunday gazebo concerts like in the can waiting to run, and a couple other programs that I've put on hold to get the concerts out.
Mhm.
Sports went really well. So, and then in terms of just housekeeping administration, we're going to start using Google Drive as much as we can. And it worked really well. I created spreadsheets of the sporting events and the concerts, and then I shared it with the videographers so they could get in and sign up for dates that worked for them. So, you know, we also use an app called Trello, thanks to Jens. And I shared that as well with the videographers so they can sign up for things. It's a little kludgy still because Richie's not as techie as the kids, and neither are Dennis or Arnie, but that's okay. We'll get there. You know, everybody's got certain things. And then
Richie still mails me.
Again, like he's, you know, again, I get it because my father just turned 80, and but he sold computer systems for NCR for like years and years and years, but he's still, you know, he still thinks in DOS. But anyway, so I get that, but we're moving forward and we're working on that. And then, as you know, just so Vin and Billy, I don't know, you know, for your pleasure, we're updating. A couple years ago, Sean had created like a videographer set of expectations. So we're updating that and working on that. And then once graduation's over and we can breathe a little bit, we're gonna start taking care of that stuff, like things that kind of during COVID just didn't need to be addressed. And then, you know, I couldn't address because I was juggling all the plates. So now that I have somebody to toss plates to, we're gonna sit down, you know, and figure that stuff out. And, you know, it's been really helpful because a lot of things that I think everybody sort of takes for granted, we need to codify. Don't leave the camera in a hot car, you know, like things like that. So, and it's not that we don't trust the videographers. It's just that I know from personal experience, and Ryan, I'm sure you've seen this too, like what's obvious to me may not be obvious to them.
Right. It's better just to have the list and go over to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah. And then I created a Google Drive for the station. So all of the PO, you know, invoices that we've submitted to the town, I've uploaded into a folder called invoices. Like basically it's just
share that with me because
I did share that with you. You should have it. It might have come from I can change the location so it comes from the trumbleps.tv email since you're, you know.
Yeah, because I'm trying to keep a spreadsheet.
Yeah, so we'll keep that there. And then Ryan is going to create like a master PO spreadsheet, and we can like color code the process to come in Trello, like as far as where stuff is. So then the three of us will have read write access, so you can edit things and make, like color code it, like signed off, or submitted to purchasing and received items, stuff like that. So because we don't have access to Munis, so we don't know where things are in the process. So
Right.
we're gonna do
Yeah.
that.
And like this week, I got invoice approval requests from
Right.
both Joanna and Kevin for the same thing. So luckily
Right.
I was paying attention and said, oh, already approved this.
Right. So that's kind of where we're at, because it kind of, again, the way that worked before doesn't necessarily work now, because things
Well,
have changed.
yeah, and we didn't do a lot of POs. So now we're trying
right.
to be more proactive about making sure we have the equipment we need. And, we want to work within the system
Well, and the
effectively.
other
I don't want to be the ones that people at town hall go, oh God, it's them again.
Them again, exactly. Well, and the other thing too is that I have a lot of documents that Donna had on her networked drive, that we've kept building on. And then Ryan has his own, folder on the school district's networked drive. But if he's creating POs and I'm creating POs and we're emailing things back and forth, it just gets very inefficient.
Yep.
So if we keep, we'll store everything on this shared drive. I mean, if you want to make a folder for invoices where the videographers can upload, we could, you or whoever, we can do that too. So you can put up, I mean, it's just an option, because
yeah, let me think about that, because I get them to 2 different emails. So that might make more sense.
And then another thing, I think we want to reinstate our Dropbox account. I know that we didn't use it because Ed was the only videographer who would upload his videos there. And just because, in the process of creating this videographer process and procedure document, like Rainey or Matt, since they were recording so much, they would hold on to a camera, and it may not be, because a lot of the videographers do other things during the day. So for them to drop a camera off,
Yes.
or just to swap out an SD card, it's not time efficient for them. So if they can upload the files from their card and then reformat it and then get us more, and keep reusing that. So we know, like Matt would have a camera for a week at a time because he's got 3 events. It's silly for him to keep putting miles on his car, and the same with Rainey.
Right.
So if we have a Dropbox account, I think it was around $200. I forget the specifics but I forget how much. We may need to go to the next level because the video just takes up so much.
Yeah, I don't think it was a lot. So
like
just
185, I want to say, but we may need to go to the next level depending on how much activity.
All right, well, just let me know and let's get signed
Okay.
up and just do it. We have money.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that, and we'll add that to the subscriptions. And that's pretty much where we are. I mean, I think, like I said, a couple things have kind of gone by the wayside just because of concerts and graduation and things, but some other things that are in the works. We were invited, Todd has been our cheerleader, so yay, Todd. He gave our name to Christina Rosati, who's one of the marketing teachers at Trumbull High, and the marketing department and culinary 2 paired up to do a food truck wars. So they invited us to come down and record, and it was a really fun event. They had like 5 or 6 food trucks. They were just tables set up in the cafeteria, and then they each had a little menu, and the culinary kids actually created the food. The marketing team designed, named the truck, designed the menu and the logo, and then they served the food. And then the kids in the business classes, like my freshman takes some introductory like principles of business, and they gave them like Monopoly money, and they got to go to each of the food trucks and try what they liked and then vote for their favorite. So we went down. Yeah, it was such a great, like, what a cool final for these kids.
Yeah.
So we went down and we shot some footage and brought a microphone. We interviewed Chef Wojtek. We interviewed Christina Rosati. Dr. Summel was there, so we got him on camera speaking. And then we did a little man on the street where I would walk up to the kids like, what's your favorite truck? So we got some student some of the student participants who weren't classmates, but we interviewed each truck. Tell us about what your food is. Tell us about this. So we put together a little 5-minute interstitial that we're gonna post on YouTube, and we're gonna give the link to Trumbull High, and we're gonna run that as an interstitial. And then, which is, I'm so glad that they, you know, that they included us in this, because this is the kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And then, so that's what's going on. I was contacted by Rosemary Seaman on behalf of Next Chapter Books. So I said, please let us get through graduation. And they want us to do like a profile on that. So I had the parents from the elite parent group reached out to me. So we're going to contact with them. And I'd like to do a little, like a longer piece, hopefully like a half an hour, just to ask that, you know, to talk about the elite program and how the bookstore came about, and then get some B-roll. I don't know if we can talk to any of the student employees or not, just, you know, but if we could, I think it would be great to just ask a couple of, you know, the student employees, like, you know, what's your job here? How do you like it? Because I think it's such a great asset to the town, and I want to be able to highlight that as well. And then what else? Oh, I was at the end of year TPOD meeting last year, and Lee Goodman approached me that the police department is doing, they want to put together some kind of video on LGBTQ allyship, because they get, you know, they get called to a lot of mental health calls. So like one of the things TPOD provides is like a postcard for families when they respond for resources. So they just want to give the officers in town more tools. So, but I think it was Wes Bartosik is going to be the point person, and he's fantastic. So I have to follow up with her to get more details, but she mentioned like having Lee and Wes in the studio to talk. And I said, this is perfect, because this is definitely something, you know, that I think would be good information for the town. So, and then again, I totally spaced on the EMTs or Trumbull EMS's picnic, but we have a beautiful plaque that's in the studio for our community partner awards that EMS gave us. So Lee was very gracious and appreciative of, you know, the ability to work with us. And I just told her how glad we are that she is just wonderful to work with too.
So can you do like a 30-second interstitial for that?
For the police department?
Just that we want it. No, that just that the
yeah,
people
absolutely.
want, you know, literally 15 or 30 seconds voice. So, you know, you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to, but a
Right,
picture of the award, maybe, you know, a picture of the front of the EMS building, or just something that
right.
runs between programs that kind of brags about us winning that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so then, like I said, we'll be working with the police department about that, that as well. So about, you know, their work, you know, helping them become allies and providing mental health support. And then I'm trying to think of what else. I feel like there was something else. There's always something else. We never, and I have to apologize, I owe Jim an apology. I never followed up on Tashua, just because, you know, first it was winter, and then as the weather warmed up, you know, the sports and concerts kind of ramped up. So I think in the summer, that would be a good time to revisit that. Because again, July, August is always a slow time for us. Last year, July, August, I was a little crazed because I was flying solo, but now.
So that was a Tashel Knowles piece, right?
They had won an award on the best golf course. And I think, you know, and that's, in my, I don't know, in my opinion, my husband is a golfer and he's there every Friday. So I don't know that that award is gonna, I don't know that that's particularly stale, because if you're an award-winning golf course, you're a great.
Yeah, I think again, it's another, you know, it doesn't have to be long,
Right.
just something to, you know, again, just pumping the town and all the great
Exactly.
stuff that's happening. What about your Pinewood Lake Theater Company thing?
That is done. That's been finished. The historical, the historical committee had promoted that, and they were very gracious. I have to take out, she asked me to put in a title card at the end, like we don't put credits in anything, but I had put up something, but I can take it down because it was only a couple minutes. It was like, you know, produced in conjunction with TCTV and Pinewood Historical Committee. I don't know if we want to keep that up or not. I can send you the link. Okay, it's on YouTube. So
Yeah.
I can send you guys the link. And then we
Okay,
can start scheduling that as well. Cause it's a cool, like, I didn't know some of this stuff, and it's like literally right down the street from my house.
right, that's
So,
crazy. So yeah, we definitely want the credit. We definitely
okay,
want,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I left the credit that's on YouTube. So Kelly had posted that link in the newsletter that went out to all of the Pinewood Lake members. So we wanted to give them, I wanted to give the association first crack at viewing it before we put it on the station. So she's done that. And then, like I said, once graduation's over, we can start running all these other, I have 3 Sunday concerts. I have the high school awards and the scholarship ceremony that hasn't gone up yet, but that's okay. I'd rather have stuff in the can than, run a ton of repeats.
yep,
So we've actually been in good shape despite having a small cadre of videographers.
so like I said, Rainy's been
Rainey and Matt stepped up a lot too. So
Yeah.
Rainey's been,
great.
rookie of the year. And yeah.
Okay, so let's move on because Vince has to go in a few minutes. So any other programming things, Ryan, anything else you want to add on that? Then otherwise we'll move to technical.
Just quickly, the 3rd grade
Oh,
video is done pending approval from, I guess, Vicky and whoever else over there. But yeah, it's edited and ready for.
That's the tour of town hall.
Yeah,
Yes.
and all the department in around town.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
sent that over to Kathy a while ago. I don't know if it went out to the teachers or not. Again, I kind of want to give, I don't want to put anything on air that's going to be used in a class. I just want to keep that kind of fresh.
Mhm.
The other thing that I will probably run over the summer when we need some programming is what's it called? Healthy Kids, Positive Choices program that Katie and I did last summer. It was because the SROs, during COVID couldn't get into the 5th grade classrooms to do their DARE program.
Mhm.
Wes kind of created a modified DARE. So we did that in the middle schools and then had Officer Bartosik and Officer Federowitz, the 2 middle school SROs, talk about different topics. And then we had pulled in some students to, and each one's about 15 minutes long. And then we gave them some conversation kickoffs so that the kids can talk to their parents about stuff. So they're actually going to use it again this year.
Cool.
Because, unfortunately, they're using it again because they pulled the SROs out of the buildings. So they can't get into the 5th grades because of because of police staffing issues. That's a whole other ball of
Thing.
wax.
Yep.
But so because of that, they're gonna Dr. Iwaniki is gonna send that home to all the 5th grade families. So I figured over the summer we can run that and kind of make that a sort of, and get that up on video on demand.
Yep.
So hopefully by then we'll have the app and then people can watch it on mobile devices.
Great.
Yes. So we're trying to build that school station and then town station
Connection.
partnership.
Yeah.
And I think as we're doing more of these projects, it's kind of taking on a life of its own where people are like, hey, like I said, Rosemary Seaman reached out to me and said, hey, could you do something about Next Chapter books? And I was like, absolutely.
Well, that's where I'm hoping that if Amy comes on board, that she's going to be able to give all this great stuff some higher visibility so more people know about it.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, even if she gives us some direction in terms of here's an app that, that does this, and here's how you can, how off frequency and,
Yep.
that kind of
So it
stuff.
sounds like she would really be into doing that. So
She was really, I saw her Memorial Day weekend. She was really excited. She's like, thank you so much. This sounds so cool. I'm like, good.
we had a great conversation last night. So
she's great.
Okay, so let's move on to technical. Does anybody know what's happening with the Board of Ed TriCaster, in quotes, status?
I think, Jeff was working on the bid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bill, you don't know anything?
No. I thought, didn't we approve something? But that was for the cloud thing, the streaming device number.
Yeah, this isn't us.
This is different.
This is Jeff, who's had approval for this for a year.
Again, you know, it's like he sent that out, and if I remember right, I probably replied saying, hey, let us know if you need our help moving this along. And
So maybe, Laura, if you could just reply to it again and say, TCTV says good choice.
right, well, I mean, he basically did the outline for the bid. We need this, and this. And I think he just needs to send it out. Like, I think it just needs to go to Kevin, is my understanding. And so that's why I was like, what can I do? Like, what can TCTV do to help move this process along?
All right, so I'm gonna email Jeff.
Okay.
Is the bid out?
Yeah, because he
Yep,
wrote it
that's all.
out. The bid is, I mean, what he needs, the specs are there.
Right, okay,
You know, and we know, I'm sure he's gonna go to be in probably the same, you know, diversified DNR and Ockers, or,
right. All right, I'll bug him on it.
okay, thank you.
Okay, streaming server,
I'm gonna bug Donnie to try
Leo
to get that
submitted.
equipment on site end of June, if he can, you know, because again, if he can't get the equipment there, do you want me to have him invoice it?
I
Bill's
don't know
nodding
if
his
that's
head.
kosher. Bill, can you do that?
Technically, I guess you're supposed to probably have the thing on order and have it in hand before you pay for it.
So Laura,
I
just
mean-
press them on getting it on site.
Okay, I will also, you know,
And
push
then,
him to
then
at least
follow up with me
invoice.
afterwards on what
Okay.
he says, all right?
Okay,
Okay, then the council chambers system. Bill, that's you.
So the council chamber system, I guess we're just waiting. I did chat with Vicky briefly the other day, and she wanted to have a meeting about all of the IT projects and the ARPA funding and what gets priority and kind of what we want to try and do. So I'll probably try and meet with her next week on that, on the streaming live Facebook piece of it. Excuse me. We've been able to stream live. So it's not difficult to do, but takes some coordination with the videographer on site, who has to hit a button. Then I hit a button to push it on Facebook. So it's a little wonky, but it gets done for the council meetings that are in person. So that's positive.
Okay. If you feel like you need any advocacy that this needs to be on the priority list, and I can help, you know, make that point, you just got to let me know.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Kate, I'm gonna have to cut out.
Okay, all right,
No,
thanks,
sorry,
Vince. We're
sorry,
just about
sorry.
done. No problem.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
thanks.
Bye,
See you
everybody.
later.
thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, marketing, really have no updates since Jim is gone, so hopefully we'll get Amy on this.
Yeah.
Nor do I have any update on, oh no, the THS connection. So you guys were gonna had a meeting with Todd on May 4th.
It was great. Todd is super supportive. He's very on board. I think it's more just a bureaucratic issue right now, but I think if Ryan can just, I think the discussion that you and I had, if I recall correctly, was that Ryan, you would just bill your hours when you're running the AV club through TCTV. You would just invoice your hours.
Mhm.
And Todd would worry about like the administrative THS end. So, but we had, you know, Todd wants to call it, he wants to rebrand it as the TCTV Club and make it more inclusive as far as not just, you know, doing the morning announcements, yes, but adding more to that. Like Brian, I know, had come in and wanted to create a project, you know, like he wanted to basically shoot, you know, record something But what I explained to Brian is that it has to be in conjunction with curriculum, whether it's an independent study or some other kind of project, and that I'd be more than happy to sit down with him and his guidance counselor or whoever he needs to sit down with to kind of create that relationship so that,
Yep.
you know, it's a school project and it's sanctioned by the school, so he can use the TCTV equipment. And then I said to Brian, I also said, look, we would love to put whatever it is you create on the station. I would love, we would love to do like a student film festival, or, do like a 60 minutes type, pick a topic that's of interest to the students, maybe later start times or a blocks, something like that, and then get the student perspective. And I also said to Brian, I said, you know what, like over the summer, like he and Ryan and I were talking, and I suggested, because he excuse me, he didn't go to Trumbull Public Schools from kindergarten all the way through. I said, you got a great perspective that most of these kids don't. Maybe he and Ryan over the summer could put together something almost like a welcome to THS for the incoming freshmen to work with the Link crew. Because I think he would have, like I said, a fresh perspective that like my kids who've been here since kindergarten don't have.
Yep. Yeah.
So, I mean, and
Cool.
that's sort of like, like I said, and Todd's been looping us in on some of the other stuff. And one of the things that we mentioned also in the meeting, like I said to Todd, you may want to throw out to the teachers, and he did, like the marketing culinary event. I said, if these classes are doing something, that you want to promote to the town, to the parents, please loop us in, because if it's happening during the school day, we can be there and record that and put something together. So I think the food truck wars will be a really nice, like, hey, look what you teachers can do. But it was kind of the thing where I said to Todd, I'm like, they've got to come to us and they have to have an idea, but they're teachers, they will. So we're not going to go push into the classrooms, but we're a resource for them.
Okay. All right. That sounds awesome.
I mean, this is like way more progress than we've made in
Ever.
6 years.
Ever.
And then I told you, at the last meeting, I told you that Jim, one of the woodshop teachers had come in looking for a drone, and he was like, let's work together. So that kind of started this too. So
Cool.
yes, hopefully we'll get more, and I don't know, like I like Nick, I just haven't really seen or heard much of him. And so I don't know, again, I don't know if that's not really his area of interest. I don't know if he's just getting the lay of the land.
Well, I think you work it the way that we just outlined. And if
Yeah.
Nick wants to
Yeah.
get involved, great. But as long
You
as
know what? Yeah.
Todd's on board and we have a way to pay Ryan, then I think we're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I mean, if any of the faculty wants to like it helps in terms of being our liaison as far as what projects are happening or recommending kids to us, obviously we're not going to turn that down, but we're going to move forward. And then Brian is a junior, so he'll be a senior next year. So hopefully we can get some
Right.
underclassmen involved as well. Because I know Drew started videographer when he was a sophomore, so it would be nice next year to get some sophomores. I'll talk to my son and see if he's got friends, because he's a freshman now, who may want to do this.
And then Ryan, I think I'm just going to have to figure out, I think we're going to have to you're going to have to report your hours out of 2 different buckets. So I'll send you an email on that, because I have a certain amount allocated for the coordination producing piece. But I think I'm going to need to take the TCTV club out of the videographer budget. So I'll I'll just remind you what those 2 different account codes are that are at the bottom of your invoice, so that you just account for your hours in 2 different buckets, which I know it can be annoying, but I don't want to, I don't want to go over budget on the producing one, because it's, it's a lot of rigmarole to get money moved around from one account to another.
Yeah, as well, whatever works.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And I think that'll also make a nice way for us, Kate, to report back to the school
Yeah.
at the end of the school year and say, hey, Ryan Ryan and
this
the
many
AV kids
hours.
spent
Yeah.
X hours in the studio creating content. So clearly there's an interest, you know what I mean? Like to kind of
Yes.
help.
Yes, exactly.
So,
All right, excellent. All right, government relations, industry relations, I have no update there. All right, anything that we haven't talked about yet?
Kate, did you see anything in particular about the website? I mean, I don't know if anybody played around with it. I'm thinking maybe when we add the OTT channel, that would be a good time to change things up. As you saw, I put together that little 30-second promo, which is on the homepage. I'll start running that as a PSA also.
Well, and I think Amy can also help us with some ideas on that. So
I think fresh eyes on the website will be helpful.
yeah, Bill, maybe I know town council, there's 1 month that it doesn't meet. Is that July or August?
I believe that's August.
Okay, all right. So then I'm going to try to get her through the process in July so that she can join us at our August meeting.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything else. Do you guys have anything else?
No, we're just finishing out the week.
Well, great job. You guys have done a great job. Really,
Thank you.
really appreciate all the effort. We're just making great progress here. So.
And I appreciate you always having our back. I was just telling Lori Hayes O'Brien that yesterday. Like, it's nice to have somebody who's like always got our back.
Well, you guys do great work. Like, why wouldn't I? I'm like, you have great ideas and you want to spend money on things that are going to make us better and you do the work. So it's like,
yeah,
the pleasure to work with you. That's what I was saying to Amy. I'm like, Ryan and Laura, like the best. All I do is make sure the bills get paid, really, and run the meeting, so we have a great team. So
yeah,
thank you both very much. It's been a good year. And Ryan, I'm so glad you're on the team and then you brought Rainey on. I just feel like we just keep up in raising the bar there.
Yeah.
All right. Then with that, we can't even have a motion to adjourn. We're just gonna adjourn at 8:32.
Yeah.
All right, super. I'll see you guys soon.
That's good.
And we're making great. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's nice. It feels like we've made more progress in 6 months than we have. Well,
Yes.
COVID is kind of hard to judge because that was just.
But you know what? It pushed us forward technically, and I think we're just building on that now. So, and then having somebody like Ryan on the team that knows how to execute some of that stuff. So, Laura, the programming stuff you've got here is fantastic. So,
thank you.
I think we just need to promote it a little bit more, and that's the fun part.
Absolutely. And again, I think, COVID fortunately gave us the data to prove you know what I mean? Doing all these, we talked about doing the OTT channel a long time ago, but I think COVID just gave us the proof because you would give the, Board of Finance numbers, people are watching these meetings from home. And I'm hearing that from elected officials, that because I'm friendly with a lot of them. And they're like, people still want to watch these meetings from home. We can't take that away from them. So they recognize that. So again, it's nice to not have to constantly be justifying our existence.
Yep. That is for sure.
Oh, Jeff's
All
here.
Okay. We'll ask him one question and then we'll adjourn.
There you go.
Jeff.
Now he's
Are
muted.
you there?
Jeff, we see you. Can you hear us?
I can't see him. You can see his face?
No, I see his name.
I see his name.
There he is.
There he is. We were just about to adjourn, so you're on mute.
You're on mute. Jeff, you're on mute.
Still.
There you go.
Okay.
Those mornings.
All right. Well, we really only had one question for you, which I was going to email you after I got off this. And you know what it is.
What that is.
Yes, it's going to Kevin today.
Awesome.
So that's the bid, right? The
Yes.
bid doc. Okay.
The document, that's the account numbers, that's everything, that's the vendors. Laura, I was going to send it to obviously DNR. I was going to send it to HB, and I was going to send it to Okers.
That's exactly who, that's what we did for the station encoder. That's who we got quotes from for the OTT equipment. So that's HB is now called Diversified.
Okay.
They've been bought out.
Okay. Diversified, huh? Okay.
Yes. but it's
Got it.
still Tim
Siglio. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cindy Sig.
it's still Tim.
Okay,
And then Ockers is still Gary and
Gary, okay,
Donnie at DNR.
Mhm.
So
okay.
that's
right.
awesome. That's good news.
Excellent. All right, that's a great note to finish this on. Anything else you need for us, Jeff? Because literally we were just,
No, I mean, how you guys doing with access? You all set with access in the high school and everything else? And
It got cut briefly, but then I sent that email and now I have, now we've got access.
Okay, good.
When we need it. The only thing, like Jeff, is that I still haven't gotten clarification. I asked Scott Sikora, I asked Craig Scherer, like, is there a list of days when nobody shows up at the building?
I really don't know, to be honest with you.
Nobody.
Cody, did you ask Dave that, Cody? Because he's the head.
No, I will ask Dave Cody, because like literally I have asked, like, because I tried, Mark called me, but we never had a meeting. And then I asked Craig Scherer, I asked Scott Sikora, I asked you. Literally, I have not been able to get a list of that information. And then I don't remember if it was Dave Cody that I was emailing with or somebody else in facilities, because our card access got cut back. I was trying to get in on a Saturday and it wouldn't let me in.
Right.
And that's when that whole email chain happened. I mean, and I felt bad because I'm trying to explain to them, I don't want to come in every Saturday all day.
Right.
Like, this is not like, I don't want,
You have a life.
I love my job, but I don't want to have to be there all the time. It's just that sometimes I need to get in the building to give somebody, like I was trying to get Matt a camera and a tripod and I couldn't get in the building. So that was the problem. And sometimes, hopefully this is not going to happen with a new encoder, but things happen and we may need to get into the
so
building.
did you get that straightened out?
I did get that straightened out. I don't have access on Sunday, I don't believe, but I can get in on Saturdays. And I said, I just want to get a camera. And I kept getting all this pushback and, well, what custodians and this and that and access and students. And I'm like, I really just want to get into one door and go into M11. Like, and
I would start with Dave Cody, because everything that gets scheduled for the high school, all the events, everything goes through facilities, because they have to fill out a use of building form.
okay.
And then if there's technology involved, they'll send me the use of building copy so I can set up whatever we need to set up. So it's got to be starting in facilities, people that request a high school on weekends. And maybe even Mike King. Mike King may know, I'm sure he has a schedule of what's going on too. As far as athletics go.
It's not even so much athletics, because we have the schedules and we know what we're covering. I just want a list of days that custodians do not show up. President's Day, Memorial Day, Christmas, what other days? Like those things, because the building technically is closed. Students aren't in over the summer, but the building is in use.
Right, like at summer school too. I
Christmas,
believe.
April break, like I don't know which of those days, like obviously Easter, it's going to be closed, but again, I don't know. And I don't want us going in where
It
we're not
wasn't closed. They had mass in the auditorium Easter, remember?
That's right. But again, like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
well, so push for that. And if you don't get, if you don't get anywhere, Laura, because this is just dumb. We should be able to get this sorted out.
like I'm trying, I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be as tactful and polite as possible in an email. And I'm like, I'm not trying to pull shenanigans.
No problem. You're all set with Wi-Fi and everything at the high school for graduation?
So far, Brian and I next week, maybe Monday, we will walk around the, we'll walk around with the equipment and make sure, because we've always been able to get on athletics.
Yeah.
So as long as that's still up and running,
Yes,
we
absolutely.
should be fine. We may need, I don't know if you guys have a couple, do you still have power strips in that box in the field house up in the announcer
I
booth?
believe so, yes.
Okay, because we've got extension cords, so if we could just grab a couple of those, because we have some, but then we put them to use in the studio.
Okay.
So we'll grab some of those, because we're
If
just
they're not there, let me know, because I
I will.
have more over here.
Yeah, I will do. So I think maybe Monday, Ryan, you and I at some point will go outside
Okay,
and kind of like after the exams oh no, it's not exams, it's classes. But anyway, at some point during the day, we can go out with that equipment and make sure we get signal.
Yep.
And that we'll check we'll inventory what's in that box, in the press
Great.
box.
Now, is Everett back?
I have no idea. I heard he was employed somewhere.
Yeah, the high school for the,
No, I mean, I heard he's like working somewhere full time, like he
Yes,
got a
he is.
job.
he
Okay.
is, and I saw an email, he wasn't too happy with the auditorium and what's been going on in the auditorium and the lack of funding for the auditorium.
Yeah,
I'm sure you saw that or heard about that too.
I didn't see it, but I heard about it, and he's put a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Yeah, I left them a couple messages setting up for the Easter Mass.
Hmm.
With New Life Church, and then
Okay.
I called him that afternoon to see if he knew anything about the projector, because they wanted to project it on the screen and never called me back. I left a couple messages with him, so, but he was at the Board of Ed meeting
Okay.
Tuesday, Tuesday. He set up the audio, because we brought a bunch of microphones from over here at Long Hill,
Hmm.
the auditorium at the high school. I don't know if you were down there, Ryan, were you involved in that too? And I guess there was a couple students from Trumbull High.
No, he might have gotten some kids,
Yeah.
but I'll text him. I can text Everett and see if he'll be at graduation. I hope so. We had fun last year.
Yeah, I've been trying to go back and forth with Todd, but he's running here, I'm running there, so I don't know
Yeah,
who's
he's
doing
got a
the
lot of-
audio.
Todd said that the company who did it last year is doing it again this year.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, so
Was that at Everett?
Everett does a rehearsal, but it was a
Oh, right.
company,
That's
it was
right.
a proper company who does,
Right.
Sound.
does the
Yeah.
actual audio, because they were set up with a tent and
Yes.
boards and spaghetti of cables, and so,
All right. Sounds good.
yeah. So that's good news about the TriCaster. Yay, very excited. Do you need to, will you contact the vendors?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah,
Absolutely.
please, yeah, okay, I just wanted to
It goes on
clarify.
that form too, that you remember filling that form for the encoder. It's
Yes.
an official form you have to put in for
Mhm.
with the account number, why, where the money's coming from, all
Yep.
that stuff. I have all that information from probably 6-8 months ago.
Okay, well,
But anything, I'll
because,
let you know. The
when we
only
said-
help
yeah.
I'll need is once the bids come back, I'll need somebody with expertise, Ryan, Laura,
okay, yeah,
Jen's still around, just to evaluate them and make sure we're getting what we're getting.
absolutely, please send it to all of us. I would, like I said, learn from my mistake. We made the faulty assumption that Kevin would contact the vendors that provided. And he did not, like I said, and I didn't either. So that's why we only had one
Yep.
response. So please, yeah, I know Donnie now knows to keep an eye on that, the bid
Yeah.
page, but
Yep.
I would
I'll
still,
send it to all three
Yeah.
anyways, just to make sure it's gonna go in the
And to
paper.
Bill, because he's
Yes.
also getting,
Yes.
we're replacing the
Yes.
town council system. So not that they have to be exactly the same, but
it's a guide.
why make it more complicated if
Right.
you don't need to? So,
I know Donnie's machine, he doesn't call it a TriCaster, he calls it
I
the
know.
video distribution system, but
Right. 'Cause
apparently they
TriCaster-
will talk to the high school as well, so we can get similar equipment at the town hall. We'll talk to
yes.
studio or talk to Long Hill. I think that's a good move.
Yeah,
I
because
agree.
they're working on the ARPA money right now. So
Okay,
he's not
good.
quite ready to pull his bid together. But again, you should at least be coordinating
Yes.
to say,
Yeah.
okay, here's where they need to be the same and here's where they need to be different or whatever.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would be helpful framework, definitely.
Yeah,
because that
we got to stop calling it TriCaster because that's actually the brand name, but that's, I don't
Right,
know.
like
I thought that
Xerox
was
or-
the name
yeah.
of the equipment. So,
Right, that's a
And
VD,
yeah.
video distribution.
And
Video
if they're
distribution.
similar too, then it also kind of helps us out with videographers, because if you're trained on one system, you can work either one,
Right.
and then that
Yeah,
expands
Exactly,
our,
exactly, exactly. As soon as the bid goes up, I will email you guys the URL so that we can take a look at it.
Okay,
Any
good.
questions, let me know.
excellent, thank you.
all right, cool. All right, anything else? Anybody have anything else? All right, then I'm going to call the meeting closed at 8:45. Thank you very much, everybody. Bill, thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, thanks
Yep.
for jumping in. Even at the last
Thank-
minute, we got some
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
done, so I'm
absolutely.
psyched.
Yeah, it's
Good.
good news.
Excellent. All right, Laura, Ryan, talk to you guys soon.
Take care,
And
guys.
then Bill, you can
Thank
stop
you.
recording.
Bye.
Bye.